Joining me now is Scotty Moore. I met him at CPAC. A year ago in Dallas. And he came to our booth, and I interviewed him live on the air. And he was running for U.S. Congress for the 9th Congressional District in Florida. And he, like myself, married way above himself. He has a beautiful family, a beautiful wife. And he also has a great sense of humor. He sat at our desk, and we talked for quite a while, laughed for quite a while. You can go back into the Lindel TV and WVW-TV archives and find these. But we hit it off with Scotty. And so I was really happy to hear when he texted me yesterday and said that he had won his primary. It's my joy to welcome now the Republican candidate for the general election for the 9th District, Congressional District of Florida, Scotty Moore. Scotty, welcome back to Brandon House Live and Lindel TV, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It is an honor. You're right. We connected back at CPAC, and I've stayed in touch with you because I loved hanging out with you. It's a pleasure to be on Lindel TV. Thank you so much, and hello to all your viewers.
Well, thank you. Well, tell me, what was the final? How many were you running against, and what was the final tally?
Yeah, so there were 4 of us in the race, myself and 3 others. And the final tally was I had 56% of the vote. And so
whoa. How many? How much?
56%.
Wow. Anytime you do above 50%, you're doing something.
When especially in a 4-person race. So listen, our message resonated, and it was very, very simple. We have to flip this seat from blue to red. We have got to take back the House, fire Nancy Pelosi, and save America. And people resonated with that message. They want to fire Pelosi and save America. And the way we got to do that first is flip this seat and take back the House.
So tell me, what do you, your message, other than your message, what do you think attributed? What did you do? What was your strategy to beat out? Did you say you beat out 4 other people?
3 other people. So there were 4 of us together. Yes.
Okay. So
yeah,
what give us your strategy. What did you do besides your bullet points you just gave me? What did you do?
Right. Well, part of it is we're just authentic. You know, the campaign season is very grueling. We were campaigning for almost a full year. And if you go back onto my Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, Scotty Moore for Congress, you'll see that I have gone everywhere. And I'm looking for any opportunity to share who I am, what I believe, why I'm running, and why it matters. And the resonation of sharing the reality that we're in a critical moment in our nation's history. And I don't think I need to convince you or your viewers of that. And nor are the people of the 9th Congressional District here in Florida. And when I say that, I also believe that we're experiencing a leadership crisis. And that leadership crisis is highlighted with everything that's happening right now. And it continues to get worse, from not being energy independent, high gas prices. We got kids being indoctrinated. The border is out of control. It's not secure. We have fentanyl, human trafficking. We've got national security risk. We're weaker in the world. You can go over and over and over. It's a leadership crisis. And so it's clear that we're heading in the wrong direction and we need new leadership. And so when I talk about America and Americans really have a legacy of passing on a country better off than we received it. And right now we're at risk of not doing that for the first time in our history. Mm-hmm. Our kids, our grandkids, our future great-grandkids, what kind of legacy are we passing on down to them, and what are we willing to do about it? That's the message. It's really simple. We need to change, and I'm offering to say, hey, I've got the right message, because we need to put America first, get rid of Pelosi, get rid of this radical, crazy direction we're heading, and let's save America.
So tell me, what part of Florida would the 9th District be? How would people recognize where you're at?
Yeah, so it's just the southern part of Orlando into Osceola County. So it's right in central Florida here. You fly in fact, the Orlando airport is within my district. So when you fly into Orlando, you're in the 9th Congressional District. Wow. And so it's southern part of Orange County and all of Osceola County, which is just south of Orlando. So that involves Kissimmee and St. Cloud and just the sliver of Polk County. So it's 3 counties.
So who are you running against? Tell me the name of the individual running against and what they've been up to while they've been in office.
Yes. So his name is Democrat Darren Soto, and he votes 100% of the time with Nancy Pelosi. And so if you want to know his voting record, just look at Nancy Pelosi, and he votes 100% of the time, not even close to deviating with her. And the reason why many people don't know his name is because he stays under the radar. A lot of people know Ilhan Omar. They know Sleepless Spies, Chris Swalwell. They know Adam Schiff. They know AOC. They know a lot of these other names, but they don't know Darren Soto, not even the people within the district. Although what they do know is that whoever's representing them has not been showing up. And so Darren Soto stays under the radar, gets money from the party because he votes in line. He's a Pelosi puppet. He just is kind of, and so that's what we're up against. And they're sick of it and they're looking for change.
Have you met him?
I have not personally met him. I've tried to go to different events or spots. We've potentially we'll have some debates coming up here in the future now that I'm running against him. But even as I was running and we had different campaign events where he could have been invited, he just hasn't shown up to those.
So he's just kind of missing in action.
Well, largely, I mean, he's there, but he's very selective and he's very careful where he goes. And so the many people in the district are wondering where he's at and where's the relief and the help. He's very complicit, by the way, with what we're experiencing. So Congressional District 9 needs to understand that what's happening in America is largely due to him lining up with Nancy Pelosi and allowing this to happen.
So are you going to get some help from the GOP? Is the Republican National Committee and these groups going to fund your race, help you?
Well, they haven't yet. And, one of the things that I've learned is that it's all about politics. And what I mean by that is they'll get involved when it's in their best interest and when they think it maybe will help them. And so everywhere I go, when it involves kind of just this establishment people, the first question they ask is, how much money have you raised? That's your scorecard. And we've done very, very well. We've raised over $400,000. Just little old me. I don't have any professional fundraisers doing this. I've been just casting vision, working really hard, grinding it out. I am absolutely open and wanting to have some people join with me. We have President Trump's chief of staff, Mr. Mark Meadows. He signed on. He's all in on Team Scotty. He's endorsed me. Senator Ted Cruz has joined in on Team Scotty. And so we've got a lot of momentum here. We're looking for people to join with us. We believe this is a winnable seat. You look at what's happening across our nation, what happened with Congresswoman Mayra Flores in Texas and how that flipped. It was 150 years a Democrat-held seat, and it became Republican. There is a shift happening in our nation. There's a red wave, and we need money to put lead on target so that we can keep getting the message out.
ScottyMooreForCongress.com would be a place for folks to start, right?
That's right. Scotty with a Y. You can see it right back here. Scotty with a Y, ScottyMooreForCongress.com.
Tell me about you personally. What has your career included? I mean, we went through some of this over a year ago, but remind our audience and remind the new folks watching.
Sure. Yeah. So I grew up in central Minnesota, went to college in the Fargo, North Dakota area, and there is where God really got a hold of my life. I joined up with an outfit called Campus Crusade for Christ, was a missionary, teaching, training, equipping, helping people, doing leadership development, helping save marriages. I lived in Brazil for 6 years. My wife happens to be Brazilian, from Brazil. So we've been married for 19 years. And 16 years ago, she became a U.S. citizen legally, by the way. And so I've had to navigate all of that. I speak Portuguese fluently. I've traveled throughout South America, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Santa Cruz, Bolivia, Quito, Ecuador. Entonces yo hablo también español. So I speak Portuguese, I speak Espanol, and we have two amazing daughters. Isabella is 14 and Sophia is 11. And they're the real reasons why I'm running. What kind of future America are they going to inherit? And what about my future grandkids that aren't yet born? So
there you go. Now, I had the opportunity at CPAC Orlando in February. Wait a minute, where were you? You weren't at CPAC Orlando in February, were you?
Yes, I was. Yeah, that's where we were hanging out, with Eduardo Bolsonaro and everyone.
Yeah. But wait a minute, I met you originally at CPAC Dallas originally. I didn't?
No, I think it was in Orlando.
Was it Orlando?
It was in Orlando in February. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Logan's telling me in my ear. For some reason, I thought when we first met was CPAC Dallas, but where we met first was CPAC Orlando.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Well, it all is a blur. You know how much Mike Lindell's had me going to the Corn Palace in South Dakota.
You're going everywhere.
And
yes,
Richmond, Virginia, New Richmond, Wisconsin, and all over the place. It's a blur. So anyway, all right. So now I got back on track. So back to Brazil. So what I was going to say is, so you know that I interviewed the president of Brazil's son at CPAC Orlando, okay?
That's right.
They're talking, and he's warning about happening to his father's election, what they did with Donald Trump. and he's already warning a massive voter fraud. Of course, let's not forget, someone tried to murder him and stabbed him while he was running for president the first time. He almost died.
Yeah. And a lot of people on the left are trying to say it's all conspiracy theory. And I've been saying what Eduardo Bolsonaro has been saying absolutely is true. I'm very connected in Brazil. We travel back and forth quite a bit. Like I said, I lived in Brazil from 2001 until 2007, and then I've been all back and forth. And so I've been on the pulse of watching what's happening with President Lula and then Dilma, and then they ousted her and Temer, and then they actually put President Lula in jail. But then he got out, and now he may be running against Eduardo Bolsonaro, which is totally crazy. But, you know, the media is projecting different things. So there'll be these huge protests and manifestations from the right saying we're disagreeing with what's happening, we support our president, and the media will blast it as like this anti-crazy. They're just using rhetoric similar to what happened here in 2020, by the way. And so I absolutely agree with you. It's very dangerous. We need to keep an eye on it. And it's part of the one world order that's trying to usher, you know, Canada, Australia. It's happening all across the world. We got to wake up and be aware of that.
Absolutely. All right. So your race is coming up this November. Are you counting on some help from President Donald Trump?
Listen, if President Trump would like to offer his support, I have been nothing but very consistent in saying that I support and believe in the policies that I put Trump Republican on there when I was saying, listen, we need this direction. We need to be America first. And I think that's super important that we keep pushing that message. But here's what's really important is that I believe many Americans, regardless if you're on the blue side, if you're a Democrat, if you're an independent, or if you're on the red side, believe that we are experiencing a total crisis in our nation. And I think a lot of the people are going to say, like, listen, when you start attacking our kids, when you start indoctrinating, when you start attacking parents to speak up and not taking away our rights, when our constitutional freedoms are under attack, when COVID vaccine and everything they're pushing, when you got election integrity issues, when that is happening and people aren't allowed to speak up against it, it's going to take we the people rising up and speaking up and making a difference.
Absolutely. All right, so you're going to keep me posted. You're welcome back here. Your opponent is also welcome here. I'd interview him. You think he'd ever come on? Let me interview him?
I don't think he would. We'll see, but he tends to just stay under the radar and hope that his incumbency and his money will get him through. But I believe that he hasn't experienced a challenger like me, so I'm looking forward to it.
How much money are they going to dump into his seat?
Well, you know, it's George Soros, and they're looking. The only good news is the fact that there are 31 different vacant Democrat seats that they're now trying to fill and pump money into that they don't have the power of the incumbency. And he has not done a good job. In fact, I've outraised him on individual contributions. The only reason why he's ahead of me is because he has PAC money getting poured into his. But as far as individual contributions, I've outraised him from the last quarter. So I think he's very, very vulnerable. In fact, the NRCC back in November said, hey, we are targeting additional seats, and they highlighted Florida's 9th Congressional District, Darren Soto, as a seat that's very vulnerable.
Wow. Well, ScottyMooreForCongress.com, ScottyMooreForCongress.com. Congratulations. Great to see you again. And maybe next time we're in Orlando, I'll be saying, Congressman Scotty Moore.
Come on, I'm looking forward to it. Just remember, your viewers need to remember it's Scotty with a Y. Let's do this together. And I do look forward to coming on more often. You guys are great.
Thank you. Well, don't forget us when you get to Washington.
100%. I will not. I'm in it to win it with you guys. Thank you so much.
I know you are. Thank you. Greet your lovely family for us.
All right. And you do the same. I look forward to staying connected. God bless you guys.
Let's do it. Thank you, Scotty. Scotty Moore, check out his website, ScottyMooreForCongress.com. Make sure you spell his name with a Y in there, ScottyMooreForCongress.com.